Assalamu alaikum students. Today we are attempting May-June 2016 past papers of Pakistan Studies paper 1. This paper contains the question, how successful was Pakistan in solving the problems of partition during 1947 and 1948? Explain. It is of 14 marks. The level descriptors are mentioned below and we are answering the question according to these level descriptors. Now move to the answer. Now moving to the first part, that is the simple statement. We will start our answer with the simple statement that is catering to the level 1 of the answer. As per requirement of the question, we may write our simple statement like Pakistan got her independence on 14 August 1947 under the leadership of Quaid-e-Azam, who became the first Governor General of Pakistan. Now we may come to the level 2, which may include some description like transfer of power was hurried and chaotic, because the British feared if they prolonged their departure, they would face breakout of civil war at any moment. Therefore, transfer time got shifted from June 1948 to August 1947, means we got only 7 weeks in total for setting up 2 states. This rush to independence had led to the rise of serious disturbances like problem in the division of assets and loss of lives and property. After this, we will move to the most important part, that is level 3 and level 4. In which we are going to describe problems as arguments and how successful was Pakistan in dealing with those problems. Now we may discuss argument 1, which can be unfair boundary division. The division of boundary by Cyril Radcliffe caused much problem and hostility between the two countries, which is still going now. The unfair division of boundary gave India access to Kashmir and control of water supply headwork. This led to Indian infiltration in Kashmir, which has not been settled yet. The control of water headwork made India shut off water supply to Pakistan on 1st April 1948 from Firozpur headwork in East Punjab, threatening more than 1.65 million acres of agricultural land. They demanded that Pakistan should pay for this water. It was a great disaster for Pakistan because being an agro-based economy, Pakistan's life is dependent on water. And as the rainfall is scanty, so Pakistan cannot survive on rainfall alone. This matter was somewhat resolved when Quaid-e-Azam sent a delegation to New Delhi for negotiations on water dispute. A new agreement was signed called the Delhi Agreement on May 4, 1948, which resumed temporarily the water supply. However, in September 1959, with the involvement of World Bank, Indus Water Treaty was signed and the problem largely resolved. Pakistan got access to 3 western tributaries, Indus, Jhelum and Chenab. Now come to the second major problem, that was the announcement of Radcliffe's award had made the matter worse. Millions of people found themselves living in the wrong country and became victims of communal attacks. As a result, Muslims started to move to Pakistan and non-Muslims to India. This led to the largest migration in the history of mankind, accompanied by worse scenes of communal violence. When Muslims arrived in Pakistan, they had nothing at all. It became extremely difficult for Pakistan as a newly established country to handle this crisis. Pakistan, already beset with many problems, had now to deal with the proper burial of dead bodies and making arrangements for the wounded survivors. Also, there were lack of doctors and trained medical staff. Now, how did Pakistan deal with the problem? Quaid-e-Azam had reacted immediately and went with his staff to Lahore to attend these problems. A special fund called the Quaid-e-Azam Relief Fund was created, to which people donated generously, whether rich or poor. The wounded people were dealt by the army, who provide first aid services to these people. Therefore, army had played a very vital role right from the beginning since the independence of Pakistan. The refugee problem was thus greatly solved with the statesmanship of Quaid-e-Azam and with the help of the people of Pakistan. Next argument. Due to delay from India, Pakistan immediately faced a cash crisis. The new government had only enough cash to pay 1 month's salary to their employees. Indian leaders did not agree to give Pakistan its rightful share. A cash balance of 4 billion rupees lay in the Indian Reserve Bank. Pakistan was to be given 750 million. The first installment of 200 million was paid. Rest of the amount was stopped on the advice of Sardar Patel, who threatened to pay the remaining amount on the condition if Pakistan give up its claim on Kashmir. At this, Gandhi intervened with the threat of hunger strike if the amount was not paid. Thus, the Indian government reluctantly paid rupees 500 million. Still, 50 million rupees remain in pending. To deal with the ongoing economic crisis, Quaid-e-Azam, with the help of Nawab of Hyderabad Deccan, established the State Bank of Pakistan on 1st July 1948, which took over the work of handling currency from the Reserve Bank of India. Now, the next argument is dealing with the military. Pakistan needed armed forces and military equipments to ensure its security. A big problem for Pakistan was that its army, comprising of 150,000 men, needed 4,000 officers. There were only 2,500 trained Muslim officers, as the British India Army had favored Hindu officers. Also, all 16 ordnance factories were in India and it refused to hand over any to Pakistan. Consequently, Pakistan had no ordnance factory capable of making military goods. Now let's see how Pakistan was able to deal with this situation. In spite of the difficulties, Pakistan took command of its own armed forces on 1st December 1947, but due to the shortage of Pakistani officers, Pakistan had to rely temporarily on 500 British officers who were already in charge. Also, Quaid-e-Azam was able to convince Indian government to pay 60 million rupees in lieu of handing over ordnance factories. Pakistan used this to build an ordnance factory at Wah. Thus, the military issue was somewhat resolved by the efforts of Quaid-e-Azam. Immediately after partition, when Pakistan was still struggling with financial, administrative and refugee crisis, a grave problem emerged, that is the invasion of Kashmir by Indian Army. Seeing the gravity of the situation, Quaid-e-Azam ordered Pakistan forces to move into Kashmir, but his orders were blocked by British acting Commander-in-Chief of Pakistan Army Douglas Gracie. The other two princely states, Junagadh and Hyderabad, had met the same fate. Quaid-e-Azam met Mountbatten on 1st November 1947 to propose an arrangement of ceasefire and maintain law and order situation. But the Indian government refused to cooperate. Rather, they informed the UN that Hari Singh's accession to India was perfectly legal. Pakistan, however, disagreed and demanded a vote by all Kashmiris. UN agreed with Pakistan and ordered both sides to pull out their forces so that a plebiscite could be held. However, this matter is still pending in the Security Council. The next argument is about the issue of state language. Soon after independence, the issue of state language created a rift between East and West Pakistan. Urdu was declared as state language, which was resented by Bengalis, who wanted Bengali to be given the same status. However, in 1948, on a visit to Dhaka, Quaid-e-Azam firmly put down this suggestion, saying that such an idea of disunity was planted by the enemies of Pakistan. Till Quaid-e-Azam was alive, such elements remained under control due to his strong leadership. So far, we have explained 7 arguments with their solutions, or you may call it success or failure. As per requirement of CAIE, you may go for 4 to 5 arguments along with counter argument. In the end, you are supposed to give evaluation or your judgment. We can give the judgment like though Pakistan faced innumerable problems at its birth, nevertheless there was a strong spirit amongst the people, ordinary people who were keen to see Pakistan survive and had made every effort for its survival. Above all, Pakistan had the inspiring leadership of Quaid-e-Azam, which made it survive against all odds. With this, you may end your answer, but I would like to add one more thing in this video, that when Pakistan got its independence on 14 August 1947, Quaid-e-Azam himself was surprised by his own success. As he took office as the first Governor General of Pakistan, he had said, "Do you know, I never expected to see Pakistan in my lifetime. We have to be very grateful to God for what we have achieved. May Allah protect Pakistan. Ameen."